This is Canada Reads American Style, featuring two friends who love Canada Reads and Canadian literature. Welcome our host Rebecca from Michigan and Tara from Ontario.
Hi everyone, it is Rebecca, and Tara and I today have a holiday program planned, and Tara is going to talk about Christmas books today. Yay!
Yay! So, Rebecca, I decided, I think it was last year. Did I read a Christmas book last year? I don't know if I have no idea when I decided to do this. I think it was after last Christmas, I decided that in December, I was going to read some like Christmas books. Now, I have done this since I was a kid, but sporadically since I was an adult. So let's time travel back to my childhood. And this is not going to be a surprise. I would say one of the first Christmas books that I read regularly. So this is one that I was given as a child by one of my mom's coworkers. And I read this one every Christmas Eve. I don't know how old I was. I'm thinking maybe 7 or 8. I don't know. Anyways, it was How the Grinch Stole Christmas by Dr. Seuss.
Oh, wow.
Which was obviously one of my favorite TV shows. So I watched it every Christmas, and then I followed it up with the book on Christmas Eve and did it every year for I don't know how long. I lost track of when I stopped reading it, and then I picked it up again when I had kids myself. So that's one.
Well, let me stop you there and just say that I'm embarrassed to admit that I have never seen The Grinch and I have never read it.
Rebecca.
I know. However, I'm a big fan of the which is the other one, the Rudolph one.
Yes, yep.
I don't watch it every year, but I watch it. I've watched it many, many, many times. I love that one. I love that one. But I know it's just weird that I don't know when The Grinch came out, but maybe I felt like I was too old at that time when it came out. I don't know what year it started, but
I don't
anyway.
either. I feel like it was in the 60s?
No,
maybe
was
early
it? Oh.
70s. I don't know. When was it? I've been watching it a long time. I was born in 71.
Yeah, I was born in 59, so I feel like I should have been aware of The Grinch, but for some bizarre reason I wasn't. So anyway.
I'm going to challenge you this year.
Okay, I already know the challenge. Is it just to read it or to watch it and read it?
It's just to watch it.
Oh, watch it. Oh,
yes.
Okay. Can I read it?
Yes, you can read it.
I will.
Oh, how disappointing! She wants me to watch a cartoon.
No, I know. I will commit to one or the other, and I will check in and let you know which one I do. Okay.
Okay, you read it. Read it.
Okay. All right, I will. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, and then the other one that I remember, and I did not read this every year, but I read this at some point, and I actually couldn't remember it. I just Googled it a couple days ago, but it's The Best Christmas Pageant Ever by Barbara Robinson. Have you heard of this one?
I've heard of it, but I've never read that one.
It's an old book. She is, I didn't write down the publishing date. I feel like it was in the 50s. I want to Google that right now, but I won't do that while I'm talking to you. I'm sorry. So she is an American author. It is, you know what? I feel like it was in the 50s, but I shouldn't say that.
I'll look it up.
Okay, thank you. Well, I give a little synopsis because I remember reading this book and I loved it. There may have been a TV show also or a movie. I might be making that one up though. I really do make stuff up and then it becomes a memory. But it was most definitely a book, and I read the book, and I'm going to give you a little synopsis because I kind of want to read it again. So The Best Christmas Pageant Ever by Barbara Robinson follows the outrageous shenanigans of the Herdman siblings, who are described as the worst kids in the history of the world, as they take over the annual Christmas pageant involving the 3 wise men, a ham, scared shepherds, and 6 rowdy kids. I loved this book.
Okay, I feel I have to read that one too now because that one actually sounds fabulous. And it says it was written in 1971.
Oh, okay. So I was off by 20 years, but. So anyways, those are like, when I think about the Christmas books that I read as a kid, those are the 2 that stand out that I loved.
Yeah, those are fabulous.
Then I would say about 10 years ago, I started a Christmas morning tradition. And I would read this book that I'm going to discuss next. And it is actually a collection of 2 short stories. The author may not surprise you, but may actually. So it is called The Christmas Tree by David Adams Richards.
Ooh.
I know. So I'm like, I think I said a few episodes ago I was going to try not bringing David Adams Richards to the podcast as much. But I love him this much. So this book was published in 2006 and set in the Miramichi area of New Brunswick. 2 stories. The first story is called Carmichael's Dog and is the story of 2 young boys who find a puppy in a snowbank on Christmas Eve.
Oh.
The second is The Christmas Tree, and it captures the tradition of finding the perfect Christmas tree in the snowy woods of New Brunswick. And they're short stories. I can, especially now in the last few years, because my boys are teenagers, so they sleep in. I can get up a little early on Christmas morning. I turn on my Christmas tree lights, make my coffee, and I can sit down and read these 2 stories before they even pop out of bed.
Yeah. Oh, that's really nice. I love
And
that.
I love these 2 stories.
Okay, I think I'm going to have to read this one too.
I think you are too.
Yeah.
Okay, moving into my books for this year. So starting in December, I've chosen 3 books that I want to read that I've not yet read.
Okay.
Okay, so the first book that I'm going to start at the beginning of December is called Chill Tidings, A Dark Tales of the Christmas Season, and edited by Tanya Kirk. This was actually a Christmas gift last year, a couple years ago, from my brother-in-law. So this one is described as a collection of Christmas nightmares, ushering in a fresh host of ghostly phantoms and otherworldly intruders bent on ruining or partaking in the most wonderful time of the year.
I am not surprised that you are going to read that one. And wait a minute. So when are you going to read that one? Like Christmas?
The beginning of December.
Oh, just beginning of December. Okay,
Yes.
got it. Okay,
Yes.
good. All right, that's
because I'm excited, but I don't think it's one that I want to read on like Christmas Eve. I don't think I'm going to want to be reading this Christmas Eve or Christmas morning.
Now, how did you come across this one? This one's kind of interesting.
This was a gift from my brother-in-law. So it's from the British Library Tales of the Weird series.
Mm.
And he is a professor of British history. So he loves all things British. So it is not surprising if I find like a British author, it's usually because of him, like an off the beaten track author. It's usually his fault.
Okay, that's a good one.
I
mean, I probably will not read that one. And especially if you come back and say, oh, they're just really scary. Of course, I won't be reading them.
I'm really looking forward to it, actually.
Yeah.
And it's got a really nice cover. And the inside, there's an illustration on the first page. And it's like, like a nice Christmas snowy setting. And the moon is in the sky and the snowy roof. And then there's footprints in the snow. And then there's like the footprints kind of get all kerfuffled, and then there's handprints beside it.
Ooh.
And then different footprints leading away. It's kind of creepy, but beautiful at the same time.
Yeah, the cover is really actually stunning. I mean, it's really unique and scary, and definitely gives you that sense that there's something going on during the holidays. Oh, I love that one. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think that'll be fun. Okay, book number 2 is going to be, I got them in the wrong order here beside me. Okay, Midnight in the Snow by Karen Swan. So this one I got from my mom. This is actually her book. I think she read it last year and passed it on to me. Karen Swan is a Canadian author. Apparently she writes 2 books each year. I haven't read any of her books before. She writes 2 books each year, one for the summer period and one for the Christmas season. And her books are known for their evocative location, and she loves to set deep, complicated love stories within twisting plots.
Okay, what was the title again?
Midnight in the Snow.
Oh, in the snow. I had that wrong. Okay.
Oh, just maybe I said it wrong.
No, you're right, because I couldn't find it. Oh, okay, Karen Swan. Okay, now I see it. I'm playing along as you're talking because I'm curious about the covers and all that stuff. So, okay.
Yeah. Now, I have never picked up a Christmas book like this. I'll admit, I think I was just too snooty. I'm going to fess up. I think I was just too snooty in the past, and I would have been like, I don't think that's a book for me. But my mom passed it on to me, and this year I was like, you know what, Tara, maybe you do want to read like just a warm, cozy little love story in December.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see. It's described on the back as deliciously glamorous, irresistibly
Ooh.
romantic, just like myself. Not, but
Well, see, that kicks me right out. I can't read it then, so
I know
that's
I'm
too
it's going to
cute.
be it will be, I think, a true love story,
Yeah,
but with a mystery to it as well. And I do like a mystery.
exactly. Oh, do you know,
Yeah.
I'm looking, well, that says Kindle edition, 464 pages. I'm like,
Hmm.
what? But yeah,
Yeah.
who knows what the paper
It is
copy
a
is.
big honker. It is. It's about
Is it?
450. Yep. But not like small print. You know how you
Yeah.
look at some books and it's like small print. So it's not like that. I don't. So it is a big chunker though.
I know people probably by now have figured out that I don't like to read. Like, if a book is under 400 pages, I probably will read it. But I must say, if it's over 400 pages, I do think twice. And I don't
Okay.
know. I think it's partly because I'm a kind of a slow reader,
Yep.
and I like to feel like I'm making progress. But in a really big book,
Yes.
I think I psych myself out in some ways.
Yeah. I get that actually. Mentally, it's a mental game. Yeah.
For me, it is. Yeah.
But you would like this one. It's set in the Austrian Alps.
Oh,
I
yes, that's
know.
cool. I
Yeah.
love you would think I would read more holiday books because of winter and snow and
Hmm.
everything. So I'm gonna have to get my act together. I think next Christmas maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. Or else we'll find you a non-Christmas snow book. Oh, there is one I read.
Was it the Arctic one you told me about?
There's one in set in Alaska, and it's kind of like a bit of a fairy tale about a
Oh.
couple who can't have a child, and then a little girl appears one day,
Oh.
and it is really it's a beautiful one. Oh, I'm gonna have to find out what that book
Okay.
is,
Yeah,
and
that one
yeah,
sounds interesting. So
yeah,
yeah. Okay,
and we'll put
cool.
it in the show notes as well. Once we find out, Rebecca will put it in the show
Yep.
notes too, because I think that's a great snowy, wintry one without
Yeah.
any of the holiday themes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool. All right.
yeah.
Yeah, that one sounds good.
My third one is Christmas with Anne and Other Holiday Stories by my beloved Lucy Maud Montgomery.
Yay.
Yeah. And this one is edited by Rhea Wilmshurst. So I really liked, I haven't read this yet. I just picked it up within the last few months. I think I found it at a secondhand bookstore. But this morning when I was getting ready for this episode, I read a little bit of the introduction, and she has her story of how she started collecting these stories, like putting these particular stories in collections, because she's done quite a few, it sounds like. So in 1977, she discovered a cache of 12 scrapbooks of never seen short stories of Lucy Maud Montgomery's at her birthplace at Clifton Corners in PEI.
Wow.
Then this encouraged her to do research. So after 3 more years of research, she had a list of over 500 short stories, most of which had not been seen by the reading public since they first appeared around the turn of the century,
Oh.
including the stories found in this Christmas collection. So I thought that was really kind of cool, actually, that she found these scrapbooks and then it led her on to this.
So yeah, I'm
Mhm.
sorry. So she found them and they had been published at one time, but so they just put it together as a collection and then
Yes.
published it again?
Yeah.
Wow.
And most like published in editorials or magazines like that. So never as a
Yeah.
collection themselves. And some of them, it sounds like some of them had never been published. And
Wow.
she's put them into different collections so that they can be read again, kind of thing. She talked to one of Maud's sons, helped her out and gave her some of the stories, or where because Maud apparently also kept a list of every short story that she published and when, so that he passed this list on to her to help her find the stories. She said something else. I think she does at one point talk about too how that some of them may seem a little bit sermonized, or no,
Yeah.
that's not. I don't know. Is that a correct word? That she gives
Mm,
that
I
they might
think
seem a
so.
little preachy. I guess maybe you
Yeah.
could say, yeah. But she says here, we must forgive Montgomery. She did want, after all, to sell her work, and if a few lines of homily would do it, she would add them. More often, however, the lesson is entwined more subtly into the story, and we pick it up only subconsciously. So she
Yeah.
was encouraged by magazines to throw a little moral lesson into her stories, but
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of cool.
And I kind of think it's hard to get to Christmas stories and not have some
Yeah.
of that in it, because it's a time of year that everybody's kind of reflective of being, being good people and
Yeah.
all that cheer and all that stuff. I'm terrible. I'm as you can tell, I'm kind of like not a I'm not a big Christmas person, but I feel terrible. But yeah, you know what I'm
Don't
saying,
feel
right?
terrible.
You know what I'm saying.
Oh, I know totally what you're saying. It's the one time of the year that we seem to really be okay with, a lot of us are okay with a lot of cheesy
Yeah.
movies and TV shows that, you'd call out if you're watching another show and they have this certain meet cute, maybe not, but yes,
Yeah.
we want schmaltz.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's face it. I
Yeah.
mean, probably if you're gonna watch a Hallmark movie, you're gonna watch it at Christmas time, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of like when people watch those kind of cheesy movies and stuff. And don't
Yeah.
get me wrong, I used to watch them a lot back in the day, and I don't watch them so much anymore because I was just telling somebody the other day that a lot of the actors that I really liked in some of the Hallmark movies,
Mhm.
they've aged out now, and they probably could play the moms now. So now I'm kind of like, like my favorite actresses aren't there anymore. So
Yeah.
that's too bad.
Yeah.
But there was something I was going to ask you. Oh, yeah. So
Mhm.
when your kids were growing up, were you reading The Grinch and those kind of stories to your kids when they were growing up?
Oh, yes. I have a whole collection of, kids' Christmas books that I
Oh,
bought. I have a couple of them are left over from when I was a kid, but not most. But when Keegan was first born, my oldest, each Christmas, starting with his first Christmas, I bought at least 1 or 2 Christmas books. So I
oh,
now we've now they have now aged out of them, but I still have the collection on my bookshelf because they're too precious. I'm not giving those away.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. Well,
Yeah.
okay. Well, you gave some great choices, and I have to say, I will read The Grinch.
Yep.
I definitely want to read Best Christmas Pageant. That sounds
Me too.
fabulous. And
I
of
just thought
course,
of another one.
oh,
Sorry,
go
I
ahead.
interrupted you. You
Yeah,
go
no,
ahead.
no, go ahead.
Okay. I thought of another one that I would like to read. A Christmas Story, the movie.
Hmm.
Do you know that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The book is by Jean Shepherd. I would actually, because that is one of my favorite Christmas movies, but I don't think I know I haven't read the book.
It's really funny. The first time I ever watched A Christmas Story, it just came on, and it was
Yeah.
one of I think it was like what was it? What was it? Turner, not Turner Classic, but
Oh, I
just the
know what you're,
Turner Broad, maybe TB. I don't know what it was. Anyway,
yeah.
it was that whatever that channel
TBS.
was. TBS,
TBS.
yes, TBS,
Yeah.
yeah. And it just I don't know what year it was, but it just came on, and I watched it, and I was like, "Oh my god, that is like the best movie ever!" And it
It
had been
is.
out for like 20 years, and I was like, "How have I never heard of this movie?
Yeah.
Seriously." I can't even believe it. So then I think TBS would run it like 24 hours
Yeah,
in a row or
probably.
something like that, some crazy thing like that. But yeah, I just can't believe everybody knew that movie but me. I mean, I think I
Yeah.
told someone like, "Have you ever heard of A Christmas Story?" And they looked at me like I was an idiot, and I thought, "Wow." But I still don't know, like, where was I? Where was my head for all those years? I have no idea.
But
So
you haven't seen The Grinch, Rebecca.
yeah, but I knew about The Grinch. I just hadn't seen it, A Christmas Story. I was just like, "Oh my god." And I still to this day, there are so many parts of that movie, and it kind of bums me out that that they aren't still this, like, that little Ralphie isn't still little Ralphie. Like, I
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
wish little Ralphie had never grown up. I just think he's
Yeah.
so freaking cute, and everything about that movie is just absolutely brilliant.
Oh,
So I do,
it is.
yeah, I love that one.
Yeah.
So
Well, that can be your other challenge. That one you could watch again. Yeah.
yeah, or read it, because I mean, I knew
Yes.
it was a book, but I had never thought to read it. So I
Yeah.
think, okay, you've given me a lot to work
Yeah.
with this
And
year. I think
I
so.
will
Yeah.
throw in, I
Cool.
don't know if you'll be interested in this, but they have made a sequel which is going to be released this season to the movie, like Ralphie, grown up Ralphie. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. We just saw
Okay.
the trailer a couple weeks ago or something. So, I mean, I'm in. It might be crap. I don't know if I can use that word, but I'm
Yeah,
in. I don't care. I'm
yeah,
in.
we call our podcast, explicit, so you can say
Yeah.
crap, it's
Okay.
okay.
There we go.
But I did not know they're making a kind of a
Hmm.
sequel, Is it going to be the same actor, Ralphie?
Yeah.
Or is
Yeah.
it real? Okay, well,
It
I totally
is.
have to check it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
Yep.
100% I have to.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I have to look. When
Yep.
is it coming to theaters or what is it? Is it
No, I bet you it's
just a TV
probably
movie?
streaming.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Duh. Yeah.
It's called A Christmas Story Christmas, streaming on HBO Max.
Shoot, I don't have that. All right.
I
Well,
don't
I'll
know.
figure it out.
I don't know how we watch it here in Canada either. I'm sorry for the technical part of it, but I'm not a techie person. And it's not only so Ralphie is back, and I believe the little guy who plays his brother,
Mhm.
Randy, and his friends, some of his friends too, the one that stuck his tongue to the post and
Okay,
stuff.
that 100% is my favorite because I am telling you right now that growing up in the Midwest, every kid did that to
Yes.
some degree. Now, maybe not full on, full tongue on a post, but everybody touched something with their tongue that was
Yeah.
cold like that outside. Growing up,
Yeah.
who didn't do that,
We
right?
did it in Newfoundland for sure. I did it. I'm stupid. I did it on a post once, and that was before I saw the movie, obviously.
Oh my gosh. I love winter.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
okay, well, I think you've given us some really great choices to for our holiday and Christmas readings. So we will put everything in the show notes, everything we've kind of referred to. And I am making the pledge that I will read some
Okay.
of these things and I will report back to at least
Okay.
Tara. And if you just watch for my Instagram, I may actually post about it too. So we shall see. But
Yep.
I think I'm gonna break down and read, at the very least, read The Grinch
Yes, I think you will
and
really
maybe
enjoy
watch
it.
it. And
Yeah.
maybe watch it. Yeah. So
Yeah.
all right. Anything
Yeah.
else you want to share? Or do you think that kind of covers your
Yes, Rebecca, I have one more book that I would like to read in December. And it is so I mentioned at the beginning of the year, I think one of my goals, reading goals, not just for the year, but for like a several year reading goal, is to read Agatha Christie's full catalog. So she wrote Christmas murder books. Of course she did. She's Agatha Christie.
Oh, did she write like more than one then? I mean, she
I
wrote a
don't
few
know,
maybe?
actually, maybe I shouldn't make a generalization, but she did write at least one that is called Hercule Poirot's, excuse my French pronunciation, please read it, listeners. Hercule Poirot's Christmas.
Hmm.
Yes, and so here we go. The holidays are anything but merry when a family reunion is marred by murder. And the notoriously fastidious investigator is quickly on the case. So the wealthy Simeon Lee has demanded that all 4 of his sons, one faithful, one prodigal, one oh my gosh, this is embarrassing. I don't know how to say this word. Impecunious. And one
I don't even know what it means. So yeah.
I don't either. Oh, that's embarrassing. I should have looked that up beforehand. Oh, well, I'm not perfect. And one sensitive, and their wives return home for Christmas. But a heartwarming family holiday is not exactly what he has in mind. He bedevils each of his sons with barbed insults and finally announces that he is cutting off their allowances and changing his wills. Poirot soon enters the picture.
Okay,
So,
now that's my kind of Christmas story.
yeah, that sounds really good, right?
I think I'm going to have to read that one. And you've not
Yeah.
read it yet before, right?
No.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So,
Excellent choice.
yeah.
Excellent choice. All right. Well, I think that sounds really good. So thank you for your titles. I'll get that in the show notes and we'll get this posted right away so that everybody has time to read these.
Yeah, you're welcome, and happy Christmas reading, everyone. Thank you for joining us on our bookish journey. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider subscribing, rating, and reviewing Canada Reads American Style wherever you listen. You can connect with the podcast and Rebecca on Instagram at Canada Reads American Style and with Tara at On a Branch Reads. Until next time, keep reading.